once led a trip to the top of Mount Sterling in North Carolina. Now, it's a tough climb to get to the top, and about 6 miles from the nearest road. I was leading a group of 8 middle school kids and had one co-instructor. We were camping out on top of the mountain, and it was a beautiful night with a full moon. The kids and the other co-instructor went to bed in their tents, but I chose to spend the night in a hammock that night. I was really into a book I was reading, so I stayed up and read until about 10:30 p.m. I turned my headlamp off to settle in for the night. Though it was dark, everything around me was rather bright. From the moon and the position I was in, I could see it down the trail we had hiked to get to the top. I laid there enjoying the scenery when out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something moving on the trail. Bears are common in the area, so I sat up feeling a bit concerned. As it got closer, I could tell it was a person. We were in the middle of nowhere, and there was no reason for anyone to be up there but us, yet there was someone hiking up the trail with no headlamp or any gear. I was just frozen watching this person moving closer to our camp. They arrived at the top of the mountain where we were and just stopped. I watched as what appeared to be a man surveyed our camp. I don't think he could see me as my hammock was away from the tent. I could really only see the outline of it. He stood there for what seemed like 30 minutes. He then turned and sat down under the tree facing our camp. He was sitting up in a way that I could see him holding something in his hand. He just sat there staring at our camp and twiddling with what now I assumed was a weapon in his hand. I had no idea what to do, so I decided to wait it out. I waited, just staring at him while he stared at my camp. This went on until about 3:30 a.m. Then he just stood up, took a moment to survey the camp for a few minutes more, and then went back the trail he came up on. To this day, I have no idea what it was all about, but it really freaked me out. I was paranoid for the rest of the trip. I'm a ranger at Yellowstone. A couple weeks ago, I was exploring the Lamar Valley, about 11 miles from the nearest road and even farther from the park boundary. I had just finished checking in on an area and headed over to the next one. The path was pretty full of trees. It was hard to see around corners until you were already there. When I came to a narrow turn in the path, and there, in the middle of the trail, was a perfectly severed deer head. No blood, no raggedness of the severance, perfectly intact. This is weird because I've seen wolf and bear kills, and I used to find cougar kills, but this was not any of those things. The head was completely uneaten, eyes, tongue, everything intact. Even the ravens hadn't touched it yet. No caching, no scat, right smack in the middle of the trail. And again, no blood. Even a human doing it made no conventional sense. It was a dove, so it had no antlers. Plus, even in the trail, the whole thing, even in broad daylight, gave me chills. Just an ocean of waving grass, bison calmly grazing, and a perfectly clean deer head right on the path. Not wanting to pick it up alone, I went to get a fellow ranger. But when I returned, the head was gone. And all that remained were what looked like drag marks. The head was never seen again. And who took it is still unknown. Back in June of 2009, I lived with my mom and my stepdad. We just moved because of my stepdad's job, and I wasn't particularly happy about it. Our new house was in a largely wooded area, and I had always liked being around people. We got our stuff and moved in and began to unpack and settle, when I accidentally dropped a box holding all of my stepdad's beer supplies. I should mention that in his spare time he brews his own beer. He began to shout at me, and being a 16-year-old, I didn't have patience to argue rationally. I walked out of the house cursing and saying I hate you, and decided to take a trip through the woods close by. I was so angry that I kept walking and walking, not thinking about the time. Not wanting to go back to my house, I eventually came to a clearing at the bottom of a hill with stairs leading up and over. I was curious enough, so I began to climb the stairs. Over the top of the hill was a creepy-looking old house, definitely abandoned considering its condition. Being a teenage girl alone in the woods, I was a bit timid, but my curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to check it out. The house was creepy in itself, but nothing too ominous about it. Lots of bugs, spider webs, no furniture except for an octagonal table and 2 chairs that were basically falling apart. But the scary part was when I went around back. In the back of the house was a shed. The door, which looked to be made of completely steel, was on the ground, almost as if someone had kicked it down. And the windows were all boarded up from the outside. The only thing inside was a dog bowl and some foul liquid in it, and a queen-size mattress with bloodstains and burns all over it. I suddenly got a sense of terror and began to run towards home. I ran and ran, and just when I think I was lost, I finally made it back to the clearing that was my house. I decided not to tell my parents about what I saw, but I've definitely never been back to that part of the woods. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like for all new videos coming to you a couple times a week.